Hi, yes. Welcome once again, everyone. It's live Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, which of course means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. That's the only thing it means. Every Wednesday, noon Eastern Time, we're here for you with the entertainment, the infotainment, whatever you want to call it. You find us on video, of course, many places. We've got Facebook, Temptations Beach Facebook page. On YouTube, check out the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel and at Temptations on Twitter. The podcast, just search the High Noon Hemp Show on Podbean, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. You'll find us that way. Although why you don't want to see us in all of our glory, I don't know. But you have your reasons, and that's fine. It is the season finale, yet another season finale of the High Noon Hemp Show. They said, the pundits, the prognosticators, they all said we wouldn't last past season one, but here we are, proving them wrong. I am Stoner Jesus. He is Beach, high above the Temptations, location in Sharonville, Ohio, at the headquarters. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
What a show we're going to have today, folks. I'm telling you, man, all kinds of stuff I found out there to educate you on the good old hemp this week. So it should be fun. It is true. I am Beach and I am high above the Sharonville location. Planet Everywhere Studios here for the High Noon Hemp Show. It's Wednesday. It's high noon. Here we are. Right out of the gate, let me remind you, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. And of course, more on the FDA later in the show, as always, until they do something we're going to talk about. I will have to say, when we get started, I'll have to get a graphic made up or something we can start spreading out there. But the best of here in Cincinnati, City Beats, best of Cincinnati stuff is out there. Categories we are in and have won in the past. Best green sustainable store, one of my favorites. Best smoke store, so find us and vote for us there. CBD store, we are there. We've also tried to write in the High Noon Hemp Show, what you're watching right now, for podcast. I think they have a podcast. I don't think they really have I don't know if they have a local TV show. You know what? I bet there is a local TV show category. And I feel like we should be a part of that too.
That's right.
Just because we're not on the networks, it doesn't mean we're not a TV show. We are a TV show. We broadcast live. Something should be said for that. Maybe a news category. Maybe I'll start writing us in for best news show in Cincinnati. I'm gonna look into some of this stuff. It just started, so there'll be more. Like I said, I'll promote us some more. I didn't do any promoting last year, and we didn't take a number one place. I feel kind of bad about that. But we rested on our laurels, and we still had top three places. So I'm doing nothing, not promoting the best of in any way, to take top three trophies, so to speak. I think that's doing something. So we'll do a little bit more promoting out there this year and see if we can get our number one spots back. That's what I want. I really want that green sustainable spot back. Everything else, I'll take it, but my pride is the green sustainable. To be voted the best green sustainable store in the high state area, to me is again, it's one of the greatest things that we've ever done. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people vote on this. It's huge. It's been going on for, I don't know, at least 30, 40 years, because it was going on when we opened in 26 years ago. The best of was going on. And so it's something that it's a big thing here in Cincinnati, honestly. It really is. Everybody wants to win a best of Cincinnati, and when you do, you brag about it everywhere. And so, we'll be updating everybody, letting everybody know where to go and links to how to vote and those things. But we sure would love your support, no doubt about that. We're not in it for the accolades, but it sure is nice when we get some. It's nice to be recognized no matter what, I don't do it for the awards, but it sure is nice to get them when we get them.
Right. Give us some.
Right. And I also want to say that the 23rd, so 5 days, I believe, from today, is Gatewood Galbraith's birthday. We celebrate Gatewood Day in the stores. If you don't know about Gatewood, and maybe I'll probably do a little bit. I'll maybe do a little bit on him next week, closer to his birthday, to remind everybody who he was and what his voice meant to industrial hemp, cannabis. Period. He was the loudest voice in Kentucky until he passed away. The saddest thing about all the changes and everything that's been made in Kentucky and federally is that Gatewood didn't live long enough to see it. But again, his voice cannot go unrecognized as one of the loudest voices, one of the most educated voices, in all of cannabis history, to be honest with you. So, happy birthday, Gatewood. I miss you, buddy. He was a great man, one of my mentors. I'm almost tearing up here a little bit thinking about it. Great man. A true individual. There was no one like Gatewood Galbraith on the planet. There will never be anyone like Gatewood Galbraith on the planet again. I love that man. Ran for governor, I think 5 times.
Yeah.
And I think one year he even got, I want to say, almost 10% of the votes one year. There was one year where he did exceptionally well for a third party runner in the governor race in Kentucky. But attorney in Lexington for most of his life, challenged the cannabis laws. He would smoke cannabis in public and challenge. He would, arrest me was his. Go ahead, I dare you, arrest me, because he was ready to go to court, not only win, but because of it, change the laws. And that's how afraid of him they were, because they never touched him. They never touched him. They never tried to arrest him for cannabis possession. I guarantee he never had any more cannabis on him than a tiny amount, just enough that, if they wanted to arrest him, they could, but, enough to go into court and say, I'm no drug dealer. Here we go, folks. But anyway, Gatewood Galbraith, great human. All right, let's jump right into the product spotlight. I think everybody's going to be wanting to see all the picks we got and all the stuff going on in the news. But as always, we do have
news picks, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, did I not send the news picks? Oh no. Let's okay. Well, but you got the product, right?
Indeed.
So we'll do the product. We'll see what happened to the news as we're whoopsies. Hi, guy. So the first product, we just got a fresh batch of just CBD gummies in. These are huge sellers. Beside our gummies, he's selling. These are infused, not made with the CBD inside, but very good price point, without a doubt. It's showing that it was spent over, so maybe it's going to take a minute for the news picks. Hopefully they will show up soon enough. If not, then you just have to visualize all the things.
That's right. Use your imagination
in your head until we get them. I did just send them. I'm surprised. I wonder if I can. Resend these.
Nothing yet. Keep refreshing my email on my phone. The news picks are they're the bane of our existence.
And this is totally my fault.
There they are. They just came through. Now we're good.
Okay, cool. Now that I'm sitting here looking at doing all, okay, awesome.
On
Here we
track.
go, folks. Back to the show. Sorry about that.
It'll be worth it.
It will be worth it because they are part of the product spotlight, which is 4 from the store, 1 from my door. And this week I do have some more.
Yeah.
So anyway, just CBD gummies, fresh batch, just got them in, very well priced, super popular with our customers, one way or another. Here's some new pet tinctures that we just got in with Medterra. We just got in some of their treats as well, but these are a couple different flavored tinctures for your pet if you prefer to use that. We always just say, you can use our Hemptations brand hemp oil, but these are formulated with flavors that your pets will love one way or another. And you can put that on their food, drop it straight in their mouth. You can use it both cats and dogs. Either way, again, our cat loves CBD. For I don't know what reasons, but it does. There's no doubt about it. We bust out the CBD and it comes running. So these are some new Medterra pet tinctures. Of course, this should be the isolate, so it's just CBD, not full spectrum. Not that it really matters. Your pets probably want that. Coming from Medterra, one of the most respected companies out there when it comes to CBD products, one way or another. How about some hemp tinsels? Haven't shown these in a while, but basically, right now we've got 2 packs. You got a what is it? I think a 6-pack and a 12-pack or something like that. I should know these things, but
Yes.
Again, these are biodegradable, compostable, reusable. They're not just a single use. That's one question we get about our straws made out of hemp as well. These are not single use. They can be, again, it could be single use. But once you're done with them, throw them out in the yard if you really want to. Feel good about putting them in the trash for that matter, because they will, combust. They won't combust. They will compost. That
would be something.
They're compostable, not combustible. And so again, they'll break down and return to the earth. What it took, and they are at least carbon neutral, if not carbon negative. Most hemp products would be probably classified as carbon negative because hemp is such a great plant for removing carbon right out of the gate. So as it's growing to make whatever products we want to make it out of, it's taking that carbon and reducing carbon. And so it's a double whammy in goodness for the planet, one way or another, because you can return the product to the planet safely, and you can grow it, and it actually has positive benefits just in the growing part of it. The last one here is the Planet Everywhere. They originally, we called these watch bands. I just call them wristbands at this point. You see we got some orange and black and some orange and white for our bangles here. You can support your favorite sports team with your colors if you really want to. If you have a particular watch that has the pins still on each side to hold a watch band on, then you just basically take the old watch band off, put the pins back, and then you just run the hemp or the Velcro, down underneath the watch, and then it's a watch band. That's how it works as a watch band. I actually use these as like my sheets in my room, my window coverings in my room. I bunch them together and use a piece of this to Velcro it to let the sun in. So you could, if you got thick cords or something, you could use it for that. It's adjustable, so you can make it as probably as small as a couple inches in diameter, or as large as probably I'd have to. That's not one. I'd have to think, but I guess you could probably get at least a 6-inch diameter, maybe 4-inch diameter for sure, I'm guessing. As far as anything that you want to hold together, they work great for that. So it could be a temporary strap or a strap, just a strap, period, to hold stuff up or down or around or whatever. So there you have it from the store. Now the one from my door is my Hello Mouth products. So we've got mouthwash, floss, and toothpaste, all using the glorious hemp oil in one way or another. The floss is not actually hemp fiber. I can only picture in my head how difficult that may be, because you come across knots. But here's the thing: we should be able to weave or get hemp fiber probably as thin as we may need it to make a natural floss with. I don't know positively. It's kind of a thicker fiber, so to speak, just by nature, which is why it's so strong, so much stronger than any other natural fiber. But I do believe they use like hemp oil in the waxing of the floss, which makes all the sense in the world as well. So that's Hello Mouth Products, I should say. I think I found this collection together on Amazon.
Wow.
So, check into that if you need mouthwash or toothpaste or floss, and you want it to be a little bit better for everything. Check out that. Now we do have a more this week. The more this week are sheet sets. We have, I believe that pick was in with the news.
Yep.
There we go. So starting in the top corner, you have avocado. Top left there is the avocado sheet sets. And then to the right of that is a company called Even Falls. Crate and Barrel. The middle on the left, right there, Crate and Barrel has hemp linens now for your bed. That's pretty cool. Good for them. We've got the Buffy, the collection of Buffy there to the right of that. I hope I'm doing all these right. I don't know that I am. Yeah, I am.
Good.
So far, so good. And I think I've showed the Buffy products before, as well as the avocado. Avocados, the mattress makers, for the most part, and they are more all natural mattresses as well. They may put hemp into one of their mattresses, I'm not sure, but then they have their linens there as well. Quince European down in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know. That's a new company when it comes to hemp linens, hemp bedding, and whatnot. And then you have Delilah down there on the bottom left-hand corner. So I have focused on hemp sheets before. I think probably at least 2 out of the 4, maybe 3 out of the 4 of these are actually new to hemp sheet companies that I have talked about in the past. And so, once again, everybody seems to be adding a line of hemp to their fabric lines, no matter what it is that they're making, including these sheet makers, bedding companies. So good for them. Again, longer lasting, antimicrobial, antibacterial, as I like to say, all the good antis. No chemicals needed to grow it. The water that it takes to make hemp into the fiber is a lot less than it is with cotton, its largest rival. What we're trying to replace in the world, because cotton is destroying the planet one way or another. And so if you need some looking into hemp sheets, there's some more to look into one way or another. There you have it. On the product spotlight, 4 from the store, 1 from my door, and more, more, more. That's the way we like it. Now,
And speaking of awards, we were speaking of awards earlier. Still waiting on our award for this segment. I don't know if you can write this in the City Beat for best internet video show segment, but if you can, you have to pick the Beachwear segment. But if you're unfamiliar, every week I ask Beach a simple question, and he gives me an answer, both visually and audially. And all I have to say is, what? Let's see how it works right now. What are you wearing, Beach?
well, it's a black and white issue this week because it's true. If you are wondering what are you wearing, Beach, well, here's a good old fashioned black and white outfit, I guess you want to call it. But on the lid there is a classic script head case hat. One of my favorite hemp hoodlamp jackets. I do wear this black hemp hoodlamp jacket quite a bit. It's one of my, and it's, it's kind of warmed up a little bit. I say warm, it's still 40, 50 out, but chilly, not cold. So, just a jacket this week and just one t-shirt, even one shirt. That is the Hemp Company, Hemptations University, printed here at Planet Everywhere hemp tee. I will have to say though, I do like my Hemp Company tees because they're thicker. You can feel the thickness and the weight of the hemp in the Hemp Company t-shirts, no doubt about it. You can see my pants being held up there by a Hempy's belt. Those are Kentucky Hemp Outfitters with the jeans, my favorite jeans on the planet. In the pocket there, as you can always see, my Green Springs Technology pen, pair of Hemptopia briefs, Canaleaf Satori socks, and a pair of Saucony Jazz sneakers. And again, those Saucony Jazz are part of their vegan line. And I believe the fabric is 100% hemp everywhere. The stripe, everything. All the fabric is hemp. Yeah. I do love Saucony for this reason, no doubt about it. Great shoes, great idea. We love it. So there you have it, folks. If you were wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. It's a black and white issue today. No doubt about it. All right. Well, let's get on with this fun news segment that we're going to have this week. The first one I think is pretty interesting is a study has shown that CBD may help manage symptoms associated with thyroid conditions. Now I think that, I'm going to, Josie, our dog, has thyroid. She actually takes thyroid medicine. Now I'm going to start looking into possibly replacing it with CBD to see if we can manage it. To me, it's amazing. Again, humans have the cannabinoid receptor system, CB1 and CB2 receptors, and our brain is developed to take cannabinoids and then send them out into the body where they need them. So it's a complete system that runs basically from head to toe. I don't know. I've never heard that animals have these, but obviously CBD works on dogs and cats. I should say at least dogs I have proof of because we use it with Josie, as I have reported many times, as far as thunderstorms or things like that. It's one of the only things, if not the only thing, that really puts her in a decently calm place when these things happen. So it says it may play a role in hormone regulation. So, we're definitely going to be seeing some more, because I can tell you this, if this is true in humans, once again, we're talking about probably a good portion of humans that may be able to use this instead of some pharmaceutical to help with any thyroid issues that they may have. And so this one's going to be, again, very interesting to see how it all plays out and what they really find one way or another. Research has also shown that CBD reduces heroin cravings by up to 300%. Okay, making users less anxious or stressed, which we know that that makes sense. Um, Anything I think that can help anyone with an opiate addiction um, is a great thing. I'm not against anyone. I think all drugs should be legal. All substances should be legal, regulated, constructive use, as you will. If humans can get drunk on Friday night and give themselves a hangover, I don't know why they can't do heroin on a Friday night. If they get up on Saturday and go back to their lives again, cocaine, it doesn't matter. Okay, responsible use, and we can't get responsible use until everything's legal to begin with. Okay, one way or another. But obviously with opiates, there's a much more concern with use because opiates can literally shut your brain down and you die. Okay. Obviously if it can cause death, it should be a little bit better, smarter about it. But, that being said, we wouldn't have the fentanyl issues. I don't think that all the fentanyl deaths related to heroin, if it was legal and people knew it was tested and here's the exact ingredients of your heroin, and whatever. But knowing that, once again, CBD is showing proper use of controlling some of these issues. Again, it's the cravings that's the issue. And so if you can cut those cravings to turn that brain off from the desire that it needs, and again, I think a lot of people use heroin or have become addicted to heroin due to pain. It usually starts out as pharmaceutical opiates. And then, they move on to heroin because it is a pain reliever, one of the best, pretty much shuts everything down. And so CBD I believe CBD would then aid with that as well. And so not only are you helping with the anxious and the stress and whatnot, and the cravings, but possibly helping with pain that may have put you in the place you're in when it comes to overusing heroin, one way or another. So, they're definitely going to be looking at that one, one way or another. But one of my favorite actresses' identity has finally been stolen for CBD, Sandra Bullock. And I truly do love Sandra Bullock. I love her. I love her acting. She's hilarious. She plays a straight comedian so well. And of course, there's a lot of her older movies. I haven't really seen too much lately, but apparently her identity has been used as well as someone they're finally using Oprah Winfrey's identity. So these are the two this week. Of what we've seen as far as the fake gummy articles / ads. And again, it's like from what I saw, it's like an article, of how these famous people are using or endorsing CBD gummies. And then there's links all throughout the article. Buy here, buy here, buy here. And so we believe it's still a scam. I don't know that there's any hemp in the gummies. It seems weird that they would steal a famous person's identity and then sell you real gummies, but it would also make sense to do that because CBD does help people, and you could get, So I don't know. I've never heard that the CBD, that the gummies weren't any good. We just know that they're using identities without approval to promote their product. And how they still exist, I don't know, because this has been going on for years. And I don't understand how there's a company or companies that are still getting away with it. I don't understand. But it still exists. So, buyer beware when it comes to, and it's pretty smart, I will have to admit, of them to do this, because there are a lot of legitimate famous people that endorse CBD, from athletes to actresses, actors. Um, and so, it can be confusing because one minute you say, hey, Martha Stewart's touting her hemp products. Why shouldn't I believe that Sandra Bullock or Oprah Winfrey is touting CBD products? And so, it's really smart. Um, I don't know. It's not bait and switch. It really is false advertising. It's false advertising in the sense that they are illegally using endorsements from famous people. And they're, part of that is because I think it's easy to convince people these days of said things, because there are plenty of legitimate famous people that use or endorse or have their own CBD products. How about science is showing that CBD is able to help treat acne? And I think I did report on this maybe a couple months ago. This was a different study, basically showing that it can target the causes, which is bacteria and inflammation. As we know, hemp itself, hemp oil, is antibacterial, antimicrobial, helps with inflammation on a small scale. CBD helps with inflammation on a large scale. And I don't know how antibacterial CBD is yet. We probably need to find out. But, we do know that hemp seed oil is antibacterial, antimicrobial. That's why it's a great ingredient for soaps, for any type of body products, lotion, and all of those things. And of course, when you eat it, you get those benefits internally as well as externally, showing that CBD is good for that, which really means, like, I truly believe that our CBD, Temptations brand CBD, which is based in hemp oil, so it's CBD and hemp oil, that's all you're getting. A couple drops of that on some acne or your face might help there. So, yet more proof that there's so many therapeutic benefits to this plant. We haven't even begun, honestly. We're just now on the cusp of legitimately figuring all these out, because industrial hemp is now legal, and so we can see more studies. Doctors or whomever can do more legitimate CBD studies, or any of the other cannabinoids besides THC, because THC, even though we can do the experiments with THC extracted from industrial hemp, which is legal, so there should be, more medical studies, more research out there using industrial hemp THC Delta 9 to prove its medical benefits in the United States, because what they call marijuana Delta 9 is illegal. You can't do studies with it in the United States, because federally it's illegal. Of course, I think in some states there might still be some of those studies going on. But the federal government could still question the legitimacy of those studies, because they would say, well, that's an illegal substance. I mean, that would be like, doing medical studies on heroin and proving that it's beneficial in this way. But you couldn't, the federal government would not accept that. The FDA would not accept that as a medicine. So we'll see. But I can tell you, this particular study showed that 85% of people in the study found that their skin to be smoother and softer using CBD. And I believe they did mention hemp oil as well. I think both. So if you have acne issues, possibly try some good old-fashioned hemp oil with CBD, or CBD with hemp oil. See if that doesn't help. I think it should. Because again, I can see the inflammation part. and obviously the bacteria part. So, um, how about this is a company called Marmara Hemp, and they are producing I don't how we get this, but the first certified sustainable cottonized hemp fiber. How about that? And it's coming from France, which is, and I just learned this, and it's kind of interesting. France is the third largest supplier of hemp textiles in the world. And it doesn't surprise me. Again, I've told you guys a bunch of times, as many times as I can, that France is the only country that never stopped growing industrial hemp at any point. Never associated industrial hemp with marijuana. Um, and building and using hemp in a lot of things in France. So this is kind of fun. The cottonized hemp thing, which is making hemp 100% hemp. And again, I feel like the genes these Kentucky hemp, you just maybe watch them a couple times and they soften up enough. But it's trying to make 100% hemp feel like cotton, which is softer. The one thing we always used to say about 100% hemp is it doesn't wear out, it wears in, because you got to wash it up a couple times and really wear it to soften it up because of how strong it is and whatnot. And so now the new thing here, and Levi started this, or one of the first to mention or use cottonized hemp, which to me is just ridiculous. I don't know why they wouldn't just describe it as like soft hemp. Maybe if you think the hemp is hard and compared to cotton, then why not just call it soft hemp as opposed to cottonized hemp? Which in one sense, I love the term because what it shows is that hemp can replace cotton and should. On the other term, I hate the term because just because you soften a material doesn't make it cottonized. It's just silly, honestly. But this is going to be, I think, as far as gene material, the next move for industrial hemp is this cottonized idea. So I know the Chinese are the largest supplier of hemp textiles. I'm not sure who's number two. Be interesting. I'm gonna have to see if I can do a little research and find out. France is 3, but I can speculate. I can speculate that it could be Russia, the Ukraine. It could be some South American country. Crazy enough, honestly, because there's a couple down there that grow quite a bit of hemp fiber. So it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure who number 2 is, but I do know that. China is, we've always seen roughly 70% probably. And then 30% from Europe, obviously France being one of those. We'll have to look into see who number 2 is on the list. Down in Kentucky, you probably know the name James Comer. Huge, huge name down there as far as helping with the legalization process in Kentucky and then even federally. But he is going to investigate the FDA on their inaction on CBD. He is going to call the FDA, heads of the FDA, to I don't know, what the official proceedings are. But he's going to question them, and he's going to get to the bottom of why they haven't done something at this point. It's kind of sad in the sense that it had to come to this. I would think, again, I don't understand how this government agency that's set up to do things like this can be so negligent in what they're doing. We're 10 years in to industrial hemp being legal. We're a good 5, 6, 7 years in to CBD being the largest reason the farmers grow industrial hemp in the United States. And the FDA just has been dragging their feet forever. And so hopefully, James Comer again, he can put some pressure on him in a hearing, because they're not taking any of the other pressure too serious. It doesn't seem like, which again is just a ridiculous malfeasance, in my opinion, when it comes to what the FDA is supposed to do for us Americans. This is a government agency. Okay, it's supposed to be protecting us citizens that pay taxes and all that. And again, it's not even about tax money. It's a waste of tax money to have the FDA not doing something about this. It is true. If we fund the FDA, and all they are doing is proving to the people of the United States that we don't really care. Because what happens if they find out that CBD is like a terrible thing for us? What if they prove that somehow? Then all these years they've been dragging their feet, they've been causing harm to us. Okay? What they're likely going to find out is CBD is 100% safe. And again, by dragging their feet, they're continuing to produce this stigma that's around industrial hemp, specifically CBD. So let's get on with it. Let's get CBD approved as a food product. That's what we're looking for. So it's safe to put in food or drinks. Find out the nutritional value, if there is any or whatever, just so we can put it on the label, so we can tell people it's in there. It's not actually illegal to put CBD in drinks or food. It's just not legal to give it any nutritional value, to give it any medical value, to give it anything. Honestly, you can say it's in there, but you can't say anything about it. And so it's just ridiculous. Come up with a recommended daily allowance. I'd like to know what my recommended daily allowance of CBD is. We've got it for vitamin C and all these other naturally occurring substances that benefit the human body therapeutically, but not CBD. That's something that, again, the FDA needs to do. Whatever it may be, 10 milligrams is recommended, whatever the recommended daily allowance may be. And that way, once again, you will start to see it added to so many things that can benefit. And people don't have to put it on a label. Just, put it in the ingredients of whatever they're putting it in, and people, the humans will benefit from it. Or even be able to say, put a warning if we need it. We can't even really do that without knowing whether we need a warning to begin with or not. We know CBD doesn't inhibit your ability to operate a motor vehicle in any way. And so I don't know, the only thing the FDA has said is could cause liver damage. But we've never seen, how much would it take for that? How long consumption would it take for that? Is it really true? The reason I believe they say that is because during the Epidiolex studies, there may have been something that showed that CBD could cause liver damage. But was that like if you took 10,000 milligrams of CBD daily? Was it a test that was done like the test that proved THC or marijuana caused brain damage, which was giving monkeys cannabis smoke for up to 6 minutes at a time with no oxygen? I think it's the lack of oxygen that caused the brain damage. That's why that study is no longer quoted when it comes to saying marijuana causes brain damage. It can seem silly that you'd even say marijuana causes brain damage when doctors know we have an endocannabinoid receptor system that's built into our brains. Was this liver damage correlation or actually causation in the study or whatnot? And that's the only thing. And the other thing, too, is without really knowing and having all the studies to prove it, the FDA says, okay, drug medication interactions is the big thing right now. A lot of people want to switch to CBD, and we know that it may interact with blood pressure medicine. There are some other medicines out there, in a sense that because, once again, CBD is good for blood pressure, you don't want to take CBD and blood pressure medicine. You just want to take the CBD. You want to get off the pharmaceuticals, in my opinion. I have stopped taking my blood pressure medicines and now take CBD twice daily in an attempt to regulate my blood pressure issues. And so, that's the things. Those are all the things we need to know, and the FDA is dragging their feet on. If there are drug interactions, then we need to know that, so we can put it on the bottle of the tincture. This may interact. We can't do that right now, even if we know that it does. We cannot do that because those statements have to be approved by the FDA. And until they are, nothing we say about CBD or CBG or CBN or all the others is allowed to be said, to be honest with you, because of those regulations. We'll see. Go get them, James. Representative Congressman Comer, go get them. This is pretty cool. Beckett Mansion, built in 1905 in Los Angeles, is replacing all of its drywall and foam insulation with hempcrete, supplied by a company called Construction Grade Hemp. They're out, I believe, I guess, I don't know for sure, but I assume they're out in Kentucky. That's a good name for a hemp construction company. Get it all, construction grade hemp, get it out there. So when people are looking for it, you Google it, you're going to come up with this company. And again, these are the processing companies and the manufacturing companies that are slowly popping up all over the United States because these industries are nothing but growing. And so pretty neat that this historical mansion in LA is doing the right thing. I mean, I'm sure they have the money to do whatever they want. They can go in there, waste a bunch of money, buy the drywall, foam it, replace whatever. But instead, they're doing the right thing by using hempcrete. And again, lighter than concrete and antimicrobial, antibacterial, cleaner than those products as well. So nice job, Beckett Mansion renovators. Way to use hemp. Get the word out. This is interesting. Apparently, dozens of craft brew makers in California are looking to add CBD to their brews. So it was only maybe a year or two I reported that California finally approved, because up until then, you could not add CBD to drinks or food in California. They were kind of going on the FDA guidelines, not the law, this is the guidelines. But now that the California said, yeah, we're okay with it, now we're really we're going to start seeing a boom with those products. But, a dozen or so craft brew makers. I don't know how I feel about CBD and beer because, beer makes you tired. We don't need more drunk, tired people out there with CBD in their system too. Drunk and relaxed and ready to go to sleep at the wheel to cause an accident. I believe that, if we could go back to 5 minutes before most drunk drivers crashed into something, you would see that they had fallen asleep or closed their eyes. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily because they were awake and drunk. I think it was because they're, and so, we know that CBD does not inhibit your ability to operate a motor vehicle. Zero We've seen the studies. There have been studies recently, but I don't know about alcohol and CBD together. Responsibility. Nothing in moderation can hurt you. Nothing in moderation. So, here's an interesting. The headline said that the CBD sent the 2-year-old to the hospital. Okay, but then you read the article, and it was actually Delta 8/Delta 9 gummies that this 2-year-old had gotten a hold of that sent it to the hospital. What I think is interesting is they say that the child was in critical condition, but it was released the next day.
Wow.
So a lot of confusion in this article about, right from the gate, the headline is misleading. Okay, because Delta 8 and Delta 9 are not CBD, totally different cannabinoids. That's why they're called Delta 8 and Delta 9. And that's THC Delta 8, THC Delta 9. A lot of confusion here. In all honesty, I think they're really misleading. And then they're giving CBD a bad name. And then when you look at it, you think, well, how can you go from critical condition to being released the next day?
Yep.
That to me seems a little odd. And so I don't know, one way or another. And of course, parents need to be more responsible with anything that's theirs that a kid can't get. The next thing we're going to be, and this is the funny thing, is they're going to be saying, well, you shouldn't be putting CBD or Delta 9 in gummies because the gummy world is so prevalent in everybody's lives. Vitamin gummies and kid gummies with nutrients and vitamins and minerals and whatnot in them. It's a huge industry. And so, hopefully that this misleading incident will cause some, effects. And so we'll see. But it's kind of, it's like one part of it looks really bad. And then the other part says, oh, it wasn't nearly as bad as they made it sound.
Yeah.
One way or another. So we'll see how that all plays out one way or another. That's fun. So I did mention how CBD flower is now legal in France. It's been challenged and made legal. So there's a French company called CBDFR, and they're going to give their customers a chance to win their weight in CBD flower. That's a lot. I wouldn't mind having 195 pounds of CBD flower.
Yeah.
I could do a lot with that. But anyway, so if you live in France and you've got a CBDFR store around you, or look into them, get in there, get a chance to win your weight in CBD flower. Officially legal in the country of France. I think I sent over a picture of Pressboard. I was talking about Pressboard last week. I've talked about Pressboard quite a bit. This is what it looks like. So a company called Planted, PLANTD, has collected $13 million in investment money to start production of their hemp pressboard manufacturing. And so, again, I was just talking about this last week. All of our desks for the last 10 years or so, at least, everything I build, shelves, whatever, we've used pressboard that we were at one point getting from China. The consistency of the pressboard was interesting. Everything from really light, fluffy looking pressboard, which is kind of what this looks like, to really dense, heavy pressboard. So, and like I said, obviously they're going to come up with consistent product. Um, and, what a great, once again, if you need press board for anything, using hemp, sustainable, as opposed to tree, which is not sustainable. Can grow as much press board as we need. So good job, Planted. They convinced enough people to give them enough money to get started. So I look forward to company manufacturing. That means it's growing here, doesn't have to ship very far, made here, doesn't have to be shipped across the oceans to get to us. I'm a one world person, but the environmentalist in me says it's a fact that the least amount of distance that something has to go, the better it is on the planet. And so, we can grow all the hemp we want over and buy all the hemp we want from the Chinese, but it's still got to be put on a big ship and it takes oil and blah, 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 one way or another. So, how about this house? Let's see. Yep, that's it. This is Dutch builders Dun Agro, Dunagro, and they're claiming that this is the first successfully built prefabricated hemp house. So what that means is they built the walls and the roof structure and all that somewhere else, and then brought it in and put it together like a puzzle, prefabricated. You're not building on site. You're bringing in the big pieces and putting them together, which is less labor intensive. You can pay less in labor. You might pay a little more in moving stuff around or whatnot, but you pay less in labor because you just need less people to kind of, less construction workers to put it all together and complete the project. Prefabricated homes it's a huge industry. It's a big industry in the United States. It's obviously an industry over in Europe. There were others that were trying to get this done, but apparently Dunagro was the first to successfully build a prefabricated hemp house. So, once again, hemp construction going nowhere but up. The investing in hemp construction companies is, in my opinion, I would stop investing in construction companies. Of course, they're never losing money still, but earth friendly is what this is. Human friendly is what this is. And so, good job, Dunagro. More cool hemp construction stuff going on, no doubt about that. So, how about an Israeli autism clinical trial study had a 90% success rate. Now, I didn't really get the details of what they found. This is something that I've known about. My best friend's son is autistic. I've been supplying him with CBD products for 10 years at least for his autistic son. I have emails from parents that have thanked me for helping with their autistic children. We've heard stories of autistic children saying their first words after getting on the right dose of CBD. Obviously we know with its calming effects how that helps. Autism is it's a violent condition as well, and so I can definitely see we've seen other autistic studies and whatnot, but a 90% success rate has to tell a lot of parents of autistic children that they need to be looking into CBD. And again, instead of giving them pharmaceuticals to help treat the side effects, I would say, of autism, uncontrollable side effects of autism, why wouldn't you want a plant to do it?
Yeah.
And, it just makes all the sense in the world. The Israelis, I have noticed, really like to experiment with cannabis, and they're really going at it with CBD as well, because I think they really have a desire to help humans more naturally. The pharmaceutical companies in the United States, or all over the world, I shouldn't say just the United States, they have no interest in helping or making sure they're giving you the best product. They just get their products approved because they do what they're supposed to do, and they don't care about the long-term effects. They don't care that their drugs are made in a lab and that the human body may not digest or filter those out correctly and whatnot. They just care about making money on sick people. And, that needs to end wherever we can end it. That's why they're so against cannabis, and they always have been. It's because, once again, they don't want you to be able to have a good life, a therapeutic life, a life of homeostasis, which means the body's working the best it can. They just want to make money. We need, and so we need to continue to prove that cannabis can provide therapeutic value to millions of people without such damage to their bodies. Pure and simple. And then you got Facebook, which is still not allowing CBD or supposedly hemp products, which I can't believe that, you can't sell a hemp shirt or advertise a hemp shirt on Facebook. I feel like that can't be true. But according to this, it's, even though supposedly, and again, they tell you when they tell you that your ad, they won't accept your ad, they say that you're breaking their drug policy. Okay. Because there's nowhere that specifically mentions that says you can't advertise for CBD or hemp. But when they deny you, they tell you that it's against their drug policy. I don't understand, and I will never understand that. Again, 100% legal. CBD is legal in 50 states. As far, I don't think there's a state out there that says CBD is illegal, and the state would have to change their law to make it illegal. So I don't understand why Facebook is clinging to this archaic cannabis rules. Again, demonizing a 100% legal product that helps people every day. They're demonizing it by not allowing it. Makes it sound like it's bad, and they have no proof of that whatsoever. Anyway, get off at Facebook too. So there's a TV show called Grand Designs in the UK, and what they do is they make a road somewhere. And then the challenge is between, I think that I heard there's 6 houses on this one and going on. But one of the houses on Grand Designs is being built out of hempcrete. So it's going to get some national publicity over in the UK. And I don't know if Grand Designs, I'm sure we can watch it somewhere here in the United States. I'm going to have to look into it, see if I can figure out where it's on, maybe on the BBC America channel or something. But one of the houses that's in the competition, so to speak, is going to be made out of hempcrete. So nice. Good for them. Now, how about this? Now, this is these are public urinals. these steel boxes. I think I sent a picture over actually, but they're public urinals, and I don't know how female. I think they're just like made for men. I guess females don't obviously don't go out and pee in public as much as men do because it's not as easy. But you just walk up to this thing and you just go to the bathroom in it and walk away. Which makes sense. So you're not, peeing on the walls or whatever everywhere. But they're actually using hemp hurd inside. So it's basically human litter. Now I have shown cat litter that we have or had in the past, which is just the hurd basically, because of its absorbency. And again, antimicrobial, antibacterial, all those things are part of the hurd too. So basically they're just using, and again, sustainable. They're using the hemp hurd, and they just probably just come, take it out, put in fresh hemp hurd, and walk away. And that's probably just about all they're doing, which is such a great natural way to keep these clean and not stinky or whatever, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. So that's one of the more interesting use, human litter. Human litter. Add that to the products. Now hemp can be used for human litter. And again, public bathrooms make so much more sense in highly populated areas. And so good for them, because it's free. I've seen public bathrooms. I don't want to say public bathrooms. You had to pay for them in Europe sometimes, just to get. Of course, it's a whole self-contained thing, so it's not like you're standing in public. You go in this room, and then it actually cleans itself when you leave, and blah blah blah. But I suppose anything that can be done to keep people from just going wherever they need to, and prohibiting people from going to the bathroom if they really need to is a terrible idea, because that's not healthy one way or another. So good for them. What a great use of hemp hurd. Green Pea is the name of the company. So good job, Green Pea, Amsterdam. I love it. How about the Lower Sioux? They are going to be building a hemp processing facility and working on their first hempcrete test home out west. It's an indigenous tribe. But we're seeing a lot of indigenous tribes growing and using hemp. This is awesome because it's more on the homestead, the home building part of it, and so yet another processing facility that you'll be able to go to get your supplies or whatnot to build a hempcrete home. So good job, Lower Sioux. Here is one of my favoriteest humans on the planet, Katie Moyer. I met Katie in 2014. Katie was one of the first federally recognized hemp farmers in the country. We took, in 2014, we took a little Kentucky hemp field tour. We visited 3 different hemp fields. And of course, that was 3 out of, I think, possibly 5 at the time. There was only 15 acres, I think, of hemp grown in the first year. That was the first year that industrial hemp was federally legal. Okay. These were federally, legally recognized hemp fields. Katie is now the president of the Kentucky Hemp Association. She might have even been president then. She's been a part of the Kentucky Hemp Association for most of her career, at least probably last 10 years or so, and the owner of Kentucky Hemp Works. which we have sold and will sell their products because we love our locally sourced stuff. She has worked closely with the government in Kentucky with all things hemp recently. So I love you, Katie. Good job. Keep doing it. You guys are awesome. I'm yelling like she can hear me. Okay. This final story, this is the last story in the news. It's kind of fun because Colorado now has an intoxicating hemp task force. Intoxicating hemp task force. Now, the one interesting thing that I kind of saw about this, and of course, this is all because of Delta 8, legally extracted Delta 9, Delta 10, some of these other things that we're seeing. But they actually had a list of what is non-intoxicating. So here is the list of non-intoxicating cannabinoids: CBD, THCV, CBC, CBT, CBL, CBE, CBG, which we do carry CBG stuff, CBDV, and CBN, which is CBN. And on that list, the CBD is the most popular. CBG and CBN are gaining in popularity. CBN because of its extra calming, extra sleep aid abilities we're finding so far. And then CBG, I think, for its same benefits as basically CBD. And we can get high amounts of CBG in the flower. So I think it's interesting how Colorado is really micromanaging cannabis with an intoxicating hemp task force. Not the same as just the regular hemp task force, which is non-intoxicating, I suppose. So, man, what a show. This might be one of the longest shows we've done.
Yep.
But that's it, folks. Again, March 29th through the 30th, you got NOCO out at the Broadmoor Resort. That's really pretty much all the events been going on or are going on in the world. In the world, because I check for world events that I know of anyway. So I didn't have any questions this week, but and of course my beach thoughts were a part of the show as usual, so I didn't have any questions or thoughts specifically towards the end of the show. So as always, folks, remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.